In this video, we are putting together this Ogryn bad boy with an arc welder, I think it's called, and a SpudJacker. Very cool model. A few interesting design choices when it comes to putting the model together. Well, yeah, you'll see. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing you want to do is always have your tools ready. They're off to the side here, and glue and stuff like that. Snacks, some cool music. Obviously not because I'm recording this for you guys. But first up, what we're going to do, we're going to take the body and stick it together. So if you have watched the other video, if you haven't, check it out in the description. And if I remember, I'll put a card up there so you can find it. The instructions are kind of out of order. They talk about the optional part first, and then the main bit, one of the main bodies, and then the other main body. So I recommend taking some time just to look at the instructions and make sure that you're following it correctly. It was not 100% clear. And in fact, what I'm going to do is not build it in the same order they say. So they say build the Storm Welder first, then the SpudJacker, and then the body. I'm actually going to build the body first and then come back because I want to stick that Storm Welder on straight away. No particular reason why, just how it is. That's how I'm doing it. Instructions are good. Generally, it's always good to follow them to the letter, but I found that with this one, these models, particularly when I was working on the other model, going out of order seemed to make a lot more sense. So there you go. So, first up, before we start, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing very well. I'm really enjoying this model. This kit is like really nice. 2 giant models, but they're really cool. Yeah, so pretty straightforward. It goes together fairly easily without any problem. But what we'll do, we'll just tidy up a little bit in these build guides or build alongs or follow alongs or whatever you want to call it. I generally don't clean up everything too much because I could spend putting together this model. Normally on camera recording takes about half an hour, 25-30 minutes. Normally I would spend a lot longer doing it because I'm a bit more chilled out, taking a bit of time. I'm making sure all the edges are clean. But in this one, I'm just trying to get it together. And, you know, just making sure I'm doing like the bare minimum work. But normally I would go through, check every mold line, clean it up with a mold line remover and some other tools like some files and things like that. But for this thing, I'm not really that interested in that. And I know that pains some people, and it does pain me too, but this is just a guide on how to get it together. The little details, we're not going to go for that. You can figure that out. It's not that difficult. Oops. So this top of the body goes together. Should be fairly easy. So let's glue that up. Oh, and I've got the hiccups. I've just had some very nice ice cream and a very lovely dinner. So I'm feeling like a bit full on sugar. Blood sugar levels up. So just make sure that it lines up properly. I feel that, I don't know if you noticed, but when I was pulling it together, it kept slipping. I feel that it doesn't line up properly. So it does, so I'm just sort of, you can kind of see it does fall out a little bit there. So just be careful with it. Be gentle. These are like gentle giants. And you can see there is a mold line just along there. And yes, I would spend time removing that and cleaning it up completely before sticking it together. But I ain't going to do that. Just going to make sure that it all fits. So next up on the instructions, we are working on the Ogryn 2, for those following along. The pants, so 28 and 29. I should point out the body was part 8 and 53. So 28 and 29, we'll find those ones. So this is the orientation we're going with. So we can read it. So 28 and 29. Obviously, I've already cut out the other models, so sprue-wise, it's far easier to find all the pieces. So we'll just cut those out and subsequently lose them on the floor. So we'll trim this up a little bit. I mean, it's not too bad. You can always come back and fix it up later. I'm sorry I'm knocking the camera everywhere. Let's try and tidy that up a bit. How's that? That's better. One day I will fix up this studio and it will be amazing. But for now, not happening. Although the plan is over the next few videos to fix that up. So, should be nice. So I'm doing a little bit of work, but not, honestly, it's not that much. So this, yeah, while this does have a few multiple parts, it is generally, no, this bit goes here, and that's what we're going to do. Pretty straightforward in that respect. So everything does seem to lock in fairly easily. Yeah, not too bad. Let me just bring the microphone a little bit closer so you can hear me better. There we go. So if you haven't watched one of these follow-alongs along before, they're fairly chill. I kind of just want to give a whole experience of putting the models together, even if it feels a little bit rushed. It's fine. So you can see on the pants there is a blank space there. The cod piece, in a way, goes right there. We're going to call it a cod piece. So no problem. And a little bit down on that gap where the cod piece goes, and that will be fine. So there we go. Ties in, goes together nice and easily. Alright, so next we need the boots. So 30 and 31. So let's pull those ones out. Obviously we should be able to find them pretty easily. And you shouldn't have to tell which one goes on watch because it's a left foot and a right foot. The only thing I'm really going to clean up here, actually I will clean up the boots a bit. Mostly that bit and that so we can stick it on, because the bases, which I've misplaced somewhere along the line, oh, it's right here. Amazing bases. I love these bases. You can do so much stuff with them. But you can see it's very not flat, basically. So on this one, you can see daylight in there, which is a bit of a shame, but yeah, it's, you know, it is what it is. But I love these bases. And you can buy them separately. But I'm pretty happy that they all come with these kits. I think that really works well. So, right foot first. That, it just locks into place. So you just be like, just lock straight in. So a little bit of glue here. A little bit of glue. And that will go together very nicely. Just going to hold it in for a second. Just get it all in there. That will be nice. And let's do the other way. So we'll let gravity help put these models together today. Yeah, that just goes right in like that. So there we go. Oops. Yeah, you just got to be careful. So at this stage, you could glue it on. Like, there's nothing to say that you can't glue it on. I won't, because I do want to get some of the other models on. I'm just thinking maybe I should. No, I won't. We'll do that at the end. I like doing that right at the end. Okay, so now it does say attach a whole bunch of stuff, but we do need to build the arc welder. So that is back on, sorry, Storm Welder. That is back on page 1, I guess you could say, of the build. So there is a whole bunch of bits for this to go together. So it is a little fiddly, and this is why I really did split it up, this whole box, into 2 build guides. So we had an unboxing and now we've got 2 build guides. Simply because it's very fiddly. But in the other video, I also asked if you like this format where I just put a model together in real time. So we're looking for part 50. So that was part 49, now part 50 for the front bit. Yeah, let me know in the comments, because I'm happy to mix it up, but I just like doing these. Even though I am rushing, but we just want to get the main gist of it, don't we? So the next up, we want this, I guess, pivot socket bit, part 52, which is right down in the bottom corner. Get that one out, and then 51, which is a sort of a boiler type thing. So a lot of these can be cleaned up. Let's just see. We get this out of the way. So this piece slides in that way. And I think what I'll do, I'm going to leave the bits on the end and come back and clean that up later. I will tidy up the inside. There is sprue marking in there, so we'll give that a bit of a tidy. And then let's test fit that again. Make sure we're doing this right. So that goes in fairly easily with like the needle coming out. So bit of glue in there and around there. I'll put a bit of glue there too, and that should hold it all in place. Make sure you do get it the right way. It'll look pretty weird. So you can follow the instructions. You can see like the big section, big top plate is at the top, obviously. So that will go in, and yes, I'm really sorry. These bits on the sprue do annoy me as well, but we're just trying to put this together. Now, so I'm just looking how this goes together. It's a little unclear how this socket bit at the top goes on. But of course I will actually clean this up. This is a fairly big chunky bit coming off. And you can come in with files. I've got a bunch of different types of files that you can come in and just give it a clean down. But I'll come back and fix that up off camera. Just trying to think. So there is that knob there. So it sits on that knob, but I don't know which piece it is. I feel like it's that piece, but at the same time, I am a little worried about how it actually goes on. So it feels like it does go that way, and there is a notch. Point it out there. There's a little notch just in there that seems to want to go in there and stay. And it looks like that's sort of what it does. I think so. Let's do that. Just want a little tiny dab of glue there. I feel this bit is a little unclear. I think this is right. I'm not entirely sure. But we'll see. It seems to match. When you can put it next to each other, it seems to match correctly. So, yeah, I think that's probably right. Okay, now we need the boiler. So let's trim this section. I think it's a boiler. A bit of gas. A little gas canister. Because it's like an arc welder, or whatever it's called, Storm Welder. They need some kind of gas canister. So that it's a little strange. It doesn't have a piece that slots in, which is what I thought it would do, but it looks like it does sit there. There must be another bit. Okay, so there's some markings just on there. So that will just slot in. So just a little tiny dab of glue. And that will go into there like that. So just hold that in there for a few seconds. And we'll let that glue in. And that shall be nice and dandy. There we go. That feels pretty solid. It's not going anywhere. So the next bit looks a bit tricky. So a tiny little piece of 48, which, if I can flip this around in one hand without getting a shadow all over it, seems to go in a little bit just there. So let's find that. So 48. What are you? I don't even know what this piece is. So there's a 47, which goes on the outside of it. And then 48. A 5, a 6, 37, 44, 45, 48. There it is. It's a tiny, tiny little bit. And honestly, I don't quite understand what that's for. And we need 47 as well, so I'll cut that out. So I'm just a bit confused about what... I think it's meant to create like an arm socket. I'm just trying to line it up. Okay, I can see how it works now. Without getting too close to it, yeah, it's really hard to explain, but you will see it. There is a... If you can focus on that one... Is it focused on there? I can't really tell. I can't tell if it's focused or not, because I've got something up on the screen. On the camera. There is a little peg there, and then which matches a little socket on that bit. And then on the other side, there is a bit that matches there. So, fiddly, yes. Quite fiddly. So this could be one where you actually need some tweezers. But I'm going to do it the hard way. Pick it up with a knife and get it in there. I think that... Oh, that's... Yeah, this is quite fiddly. I think that's an unnecessary piece. I think they could have done something a little bit more elegant than that. Just to join this bit on, and I've put way too much glue on there. But like you see, there is a little peg there. So that's tied in there. I think it went in. No, it didn't. I missed it completely. Okay, so... Wow. How are we going to deal with this? This has become a bit of a mess. Yeah, I don't think this piece is elegant. I think it could have been done a lot better. So now, you've got a bit of trouble. I think that's a bit better. Don't know though. We'll see. We can make it go together. It'll be fine. Come on, a little bit. There it is. Okay. Ah! Yeah, I've got big clumsy fingers. If you have small fingers, then you'll probably be fine. So I just need to do this off camera, because it's quite fiddly. Wow. Okay. It's in the wrong spot completely. Oh my god. Yeah, this bit is an absolute mess. So, there you go. We're not going to put the SpudJacker bit together yet. We're going to quickly go over this bit, and it's on the other page. I just want to get this arm on. So, this arm should go straight on straight away. No, I need to put something else on first. I feel like I'm getting rushed now because this is all going to glue together. And this is why I do this. So we need a 9, and there's 2 9s, so they're both the same. So, come back to the body. So that glue's on there like that. We just want to get it on now. We can clean it up later. Goes on like that. Just want to really push that down, because I want to clean up that nub. That's fine. Now, I'm really worried that that part of the gun, which is actually the arm socket, is going to harden up too quickly. So you can see, yeah, you can see how much this is broken. So we need to quickly get some glue there, some glue there. Oh dear. So you know a way you could do this, and probably would be better designed. This socket piece is actually placed into the arm first, instead of placing it on the gun. I think that might have been a better way to do it. So you know what? I'm going to take it off. Get it in place. Like that. A little bit more glue there. Fix this up as we go. So this is some quick emergency surgery, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think that part is designed all that well. So yeah, it involves a lot of pushing around at the moment to get it in the right spot. It's messy, but you won't see it. There we go. That's the spot right there. And that can go that way a bit, and it'll all tie in and be great. That's what I'm telling myself. because it's not great, but we'll be fine. We'll get there. You can see I made an absolute mess of it, but I think we can get around it. So yeah, it's difficult to do it on camera. So this piece has to join in there somehow. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue. I think we're just going to hold it a little bit until it glues up. It's not pretty at all, but there we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a mess of this, but I don't particularly care. We can add, we'll just say it's all like grit and grime. It's Necromunda. That's fine. So, okay, we're getting there. There it is. There's the spot. So the back plate is a bit skewed, but if we get it all in, it'll all tie up. So it feels like it's getting there. Okay. It's not great because that actually needs to be straight. Yeah, the whole thing is not amazingly designed. It's a cool design, but not in a way that is practical. So it's a matter of just holding this in, which is an absolute pain, but this is part of it. We'll have a cool model at the end. And with the extra glue in there, some bits are all gunked up. We can say it's actually gunk. It's some like grease. Okay, that's what happened. Yeah, it's greasy. Okay, there we go. That'll hold up. I may come back with some bits of extra glue later on, but I think that will do for now. So it's that ball joint socket there that goes into the arm. I recommend putting it in the arm first. That's a massive tip. And we do have a little bit extra to put on the gun, which is, well, I'm not sure why it's not in the gun to start with, but this is part of the problem with the new generation of kits from GW. There's a lot of detail, which is amazing. I don't want them to stop doing that, but I want them to be a bit more considerate of how it actually goes together. So for this one, we need that piece, which is 44 right there. Particularly this piece is like, it's a nice piece. I love how it's broken up at the back, but it's not necessary. I think it's fine without it. Maybe it's just because I got, well, not fine without it, but integrated into that piece. I think that would be fine. I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'm gonna figure out which way it goes. My hands are so, oh my god, I can't even hold on to it. So it goes that way. So I think with this kit, get some tweezers. All right, that's in place. This is all starting to come apart, but it's okay. It'll glue in together. But yeah, you can see how it's just starting to slip around a bit. And that part's come off completely. This is turning into a disaster. It's fine though. That'll be all right. That's fine. Yeah, it just needs to hold in there a lot more. So what I'm going to do, cardinal sin, dump some glue down in there just to hold it together. And I'll put some down in here. You're not going to see this part anyway, so it's not pretty, but it'll hold. And a little bit there. We can say they're weld lines. Sure, why not? Right. Now we need to we'll just let this rest for a bit. Actually, I'm going to put it down at an angle. Oh, not like that. Yeah, we'll put it like that. I just want that to, it's off. I'll show you how I've done it. I've put it down like that at the moment. I don't want it really touching anything. I just want it to sort of glue up and just get into a good spot. So we need to put some ammo patches on, head, and like a welder mask, and then the SpudJacker. But we will build that now. So for that one, we need part 45. 45, which is an arm right bang, not quite the middle. It's close to the middle. Give that arm a little bit of a clean. It's not too bad. I mean, the mold lines on this are present, yes, but one of the good design features and technical design features they've been able to do is integrate it into certain parts of the body. So, this is not a good example, but you could integrate it. There is some veins in there. You could integrate it into some of the veins, which is kind of cool. So now we need 46 for the actual SpudJacker, which is on the bottom of the sprue. So just be careful with the hand. It could cause problems. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. Trim that up a little bit. No, we can leave that. We'll come back to it. I want to get rid of that bit of the hand though, I think. Yeah, that's actually part of the sprue, so... Big chop off. Also remember, always change your blades. Which I never pay attention to my own advice. Most of the time I change it. In this case, I haven't. So that easily just goes together. Pretty straightforward. Nothing major to worry about there. And there's a little socket there as well, so that will go in together. If I can get it right. Yeah, that's it there. So I just want to push in there, and we'll just let it glue up a bit. So I think, other than the gun, or the Storm Welder, it's a pretty straightforward build. I think there was more parts on the guy with the augmatic fists and the power pack, but yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to put this off to the side, and we're going to cut up the extra bits that we need, which are the head, some grenades, and some things like that. So, grenades. It's 21. And we need to decide what head. I don't know what head we're going to use yet. So 21. We need 20 for the helmet. Or the welding mask, which is kind of cool. And you could put that over his face if you wanted. And they're saying that go with head 2 here. And I'm going to stick with it. I mean, the heads are pretty cool anyway. But I like this guy. He has lots of staples on his head. So what we'll do, we'll give that head a bit of a clean now while we're waiting for the other bit to dry up. So you can see that I jump back and forth between the knife, the mold line remover, and some of the, what are they called? These things. It's gone. It's out of my brain. Honestly, I can't remember. A file. That's it. It's the end of the day. It's like 9:45. I've been recording and putting models together most of the night. Long day at work. Been to the doctor's again. So, you know. And yeah, we can leave that, that's fine. So, what we'll do, we'll stick on the head. And we'll see what we can do. We'll test fit it first, to make sure. So, test fit it goes on pretty nice and easily. So, no problem there. So, the options we have here. And I don't know if this is going to work. But, so in the instructions, it says it goes on his head like that. Alright? But, I'm assuming we could also put it across his face like that. That would be kind of cool. But, I'm not going to do that. I want his face. I want it just over his head. I think that's kind of cool too. So, just a little bit of glue on the top of his head. Make sure you do it the right direction. There we go. And it seems to lock into place, which is, it's unexpected, but it locks in there. So it looks pretty cool. He's got his little mask on. Nice. We'll stick his arm in. Now, before we put the arm in, we'll do the grenades, because that's going to be a little fiddly once we've got the arm on. So this one I'll definitely clean up a bit. Clean that up a bit. Might use the file on this one, still a bit chunky. Yeah, it's not too bad. And yes, there's probably tons of mold lines on there, but it is what it is. So this seems to sit somewhere in there, and you can't see it because of my chunky fingers, but a little bit of glue. And if I can hold on to it, oh my goodness. Okay, it goes that way. There's a tiny little curve to it, so that's why his helmet's coming off. Oh, it's all turning into a bit of a shambles, to be honest. Oh my goodness. It actually goes a bit lower than that. It actually goes in there, so a little dab, just a little dab, and that will go in there. Nice. So it's actually on his leg. So I'm going to use this to put it into place. Doesn't feel like it should really go there, because I feel like it needs to wrap around his leg a bit more, but that's fine. It'll glue in there. Okay. So now we need to get this piece here on his back before we put the arm on. It's 22. It looks like a grapple, something like that. So that's a single piece. Checking the mold lines looks pretty good. Chop this bit off though. Pretty straightforward. Looks nice. So this goes on his butt, which is actually really good because I've got a fingerprint there. So that's actually quite nice. And on it goes. Okay. Okay, that's gonna go in nicely. We're gonna wait for it to settle a bit because gravity was taking a bit of control. Okay. So it does look kind of out of place. It's barely connected. So maybe it needs to go more up in there. It'll go up in there. I'll just put a little bit more glue on it. And that will stick. That's better. That feels much nicer. Actually get it so it doesn't look too weird gravity-wise. So it's somewhat falling, but that'll be okay. We can always come and fix that up. So now onto the arm. How does this fit in? Okay, it seems to slide in under the biceps. We'll make it fit. So it seems to go down like that. There we go. And the gun is looking very weird. I'm not entirely happy with the gun, but it's still pliable enough that we can move it around. And that whole thing can come off too. Excellent. It's not working at all. We'll do a bit of this. We'll put it there, a little bit higher maybe, but we can then just put tiny little bit. There we go. We can get that to glue in there, and that'll be fine. All right, but what I'm going to do, because the arm's not staying on, it's going to be a bit difficult. I'm going to put this fella on his base. So I want to bring this guy in. I don't want him to match up. So if it goes a bit like that, I can stick him in the middle. When we get him right in the center of the camera, you can see I always try to orientate them so the center of gravity is sort of in the middle, or the mass is in the middle. Okay, yeah, this is really tricky. So I might have to put a little bit of glue on the area itself. Yeah, like I've said before, I love these bases, but it's difficult. It's probably better to pin them in, but I'm not pinning at the moment. I might do a video specifically about pinning to bases. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a second. Because I'm going to knock that over. So once that's dried, we'll come back and we'll put the arm on. All right, here we are. We have an Ogryn with an arc welder and a SpudJacker. Looks very, very cool. A little fiddly in places, particularly with the gun, so definitely be aware of that. I recommend, if I can bring it around, there is a socket in there, it's like a half sphere, that it says attached to the gun. I say attach that to the body first, because that gun is not in the right angle at all. I'm not overly pleased with it, but that's fine. It is what it is. It kind of matches the slope of his body, so that's fine. But really cool thing. I love the welder mask. I think that's really cool. Kind of cool indeed. So let's have a look at the other one as well. So you can see this. You can find this in the other build video. He has, again, essentially power fists. Giant, chunky fists. So they're really cool. I love the attention to detail. This guy has a mask as well. But I wanted to line them up with two different models, if I can bring them over. First, this is standard human size. So, yeah. Towers far and above, like he's huge. This is from Blackstone Fortress, one of the Trader Guardsmen, which I really hope they get a codex one day. And a full army release. That would be amazing. So that's that guy. And next to one of the new Primaris Assault Intercessors, you see, they're still fairly big. Still really big compared to a Space Marine. So, yeah, big chunky boys. Yeah, I really like them. I'm pretty happy. So there you go. Hope you have enjoyed that video. If you have, definitely please subscribe. And let me know if you do like this format of building models. I do like it. I enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below also if you have bought this. And if you bought the 5 model kit, let me know what extra bits you get in there. Because it looks like I used most of the bits in here, except for a couple of faces and a few other bits and pieces. Well, that's it. There you go. I love it. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.